Supercross 3 is not perfect, okay? And I'll be the first one to say it. And I know a lot of you guys got a little crazy when I came out there and gave my 8 overall review of this game, and I knew this would happen, but it was just one of those things like, listen, dog, okay? I can be really, really excited about a game, really happy about improvements that they make to a game and all that, without saying that it's the greatest thing ever, without saying that it's perfect, okay? I was never saying this game was perfect. I was never saying it was the greatest arcade motocross game ever. It's not to that level. I know it seems a little crazy, Spencer Turley ever coming in here and being that positive about a milestone game, so it sort of gives you that idea in your head, like, holy shit, it just must be, blow them smooth out of the water, like best game ever, and oh my god, Either way, I just wanted to come in here and explain, there are still some problems with this game, guys, but the reason why I was so positive in my review was just simply because I was so happy about the changes that they made, and that's what I was saying. Once you start getting the bike filling down and the physics and the inertia and the skill gap, that makes everything else better. It makes the game more replayability. It makes the skill gap more, so the tracks are more fun. It makes every other aspect of the game more fun when you get that bike filling down. It's literally everything to it, bro. And that's what I was trying to say this whole time. Like, you can talk about all this other stuff, like the game has, better graphics, or they improved on this track or that track, or they put this in there, or now you got this in there, or whatever. But if they're not really improving on the filling of the bike and the physics of the bike, and the game has no real inertia to it and all that, no real skill gap, no real hucking system, no real, solid whip system to the game and stuff, like those first two Supercross games, if it doesn't have any of that, everything else just doesn't really matter as much. You know what I mean? And so now that they finally got more of that bike filling to the game, it makes everything, all the other negatives, not seem as bad, is what I'm saying, because the filling of the bike is there, the gameplay is there, right? So, yes, the tough blocks were fucking damn near game breaking in this game, basically, when the game first came out. Literally center blocks, dog. You can't even call them tough blocks. They were center blocks. You just run into them, instantly pop off. I can't tell you how many races that's totally killed the vibe on that I've had, but, they were way off on the tough block collision. Another little thing I've noticed is on some of their tracks, they've got quite a few cut lines, specifically the MX Outdoor track, right? They've got a crazy-ass cut line that, you can just cut off so much time, and you don't really get reset on it either. That's the thing about it. Let me get over here to it real quick. I can show you. So it's over here by these little metal jumps. If you don't really know about this yet, if you're on an actual race, right, you got all these tough blocks coming through here. Well, if you come around here, you can actually cut around that metal jump, and then you squeeze right through here between there's a tough block on the right side when you're on the actual raceable version. There's tough blocks right here on the right side, and then you got this metal jump to the left. You cut right through here. You squeeze your narrow self right through here as well, and you skip those entire 2 jumps, and you never even actually get reset. And you literally cut off 5 to 10 seconds right there off your lap times on the motocross track. So they've still got a couple little weird cut areas. I think they're going to have all that fixed in the future. And I think they already said they're going to fix the tough blocks. So that's a couple little things that are kind of nitpicky, naggy. And then the whole bullshit thing where they have the official team stuff in the game, like the official gear and bikes and all that, but you don't have the official, Monster Energy helmets and Red Bull helmets. They just completely left that out of the game or removed that out of the game for some reason. So unless you have a mod like what I have in the game, then you can't have a Monster Energy helmet. You can't have a Rockstar Husqvarna helmet. That was complete bullshit, Milestone. Why did you do that? I don't know. But you can go in there and have your custom rider on the official teams, but there's not even full-blown official energy drink helmets or anything like that in the game. And you also can't, light pole, you also can't interchange any of that official gear stuff with other gear and helmets in the game. So you can't run the official Monster Energy Eli Tomac style gear with a Yamaha in the game or whatever. You can't interchange anything. They made that whole official team's gear stuff, customization unlocks and stuff in the game very restrictive, very you just can't do a whole lot with it, right? So I was kind of disappointed about that. And then just the animations had some issues at the beginning, but they did seem to fix a lot of that with the updates. And this game does still have some issues with the physics whenever you start going really, really fast and you start really pushing the physics to their absolute limit. You start really going fast around a corner, or you start really scrubbing it hard over a jump face, and, sometimes you'll get those weird glitchy physics things, or the bike will kind of spaz out on you, and the bike will kind of like just completely spaz out and spin around in a corner. Sometimes some dude will hit you and your front end will just shoot up out of nowhere, like you're popping a wheelie in the corner out of nowhere. That's what I've noticed specifically about this game's physics. It's like the harder you push it, the more you start kind of seeing the little buggy, glitchy negative side effects of the physics. When you really start pushing it hard in the game, you really start going super fast. If you keep it at a pretty chill level, like steering and stuff in the game, you don't get too hardcore. When you collide with somebody, you won't really notice a lot of those physics issues, but I do still think there's a lot of improvements they can make on that, specifically in the faster, harder steering, quicker movement, harder collision, going over a whoop kind of weird, leaning-wise. I think they can still fix a little bit of that physics-wise side of it and not being so glitchy and weird-looking, right? They can still do quite a bit of stuff with that, but either way, that's some of the main, things that are like main negative things to the game. But I just looked at this game. The reason why I didn't mention a lot of the negatives, I did mention some negatives in my review, but I mentioned actually quite a few, but of course, anytime Spencer Turley is positive at all about anything Milestone, people automatically assume that it's like I'm saying it's the greatest ever, and I'm just, oh my God, it's just the best thing ever. It's not what I was saying, dog. But like, this game is solid, dude. I'm telling you, there's replayability, there's longevity, there's skill gap, there's fun factor, right? It's got all those core things to an arcade motocross game to keep you invested, keep you playing, keep you having fun. A lot of really cool things to the physics of this game, so it sort of made me somewhat like accept some of the little negatives, like the tough block issue and the some of the little cut lines and stuff like that. It kind of just made me not be so harsh on Milestone, because they finally are getting a lot of the really hard things to get right in a motocross game right, which is the feeling on the bike. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. Like, I can accept a lot in these motocross games, but you got to have the core shit right before I can start accepting some of that other bullshit, It's like, you got to have the core to the physics of the game. You got to have inertia to the game before you fuck around with anything else in a motocross game. And that's some of the things I thought they were just so far off on in all those other Milestone games. They didn't even have the damn inertia feeling to the bike. They didn't even have the physics and the skill gap and the gameplay and the leaning forward and backwards feeling to the bike. So all those other things they were trying to do in all those other Milestone games just seemed completely pointless. And like, why the hell are you trying to do that before you even have an actual gameplay, true bike feeling to the gameplay? You know what I mean? It's just like, why are they doing any of that? And that's why you've seen such a frustration and so many rants on them on the Milestone games beforehand, because they didn't even have like the core feeling to the bike there yet. And I still think they can make improvements on the core physics and all that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's just like, oh my God, perfect, they never need to do anything with it ever again. I still think they can make improvements with it, especially with the next Milestone games out there that come out and stuff. But yeah, so not a perfect game, but definitely I would give it an 8 out of 10, right? That's just kind of where I would put it. It's just shocked me on how the feeling of the bike really is. They have definitely taken some influence from MX vs. ATV, definitely taken some big pointers from MX vs. ATV. I mean, you can just tell they've taken a lot of things, and it's really been for the better for this Milestone franchise. I can tell you, dog. When people start realizing the real vibe of this shit and really getting into this game and playing it for more than just a couple hours, and they start realizing the actual improvements to the gameplay and all that, they'll be reinvigorated back into the Milestone franchise. You're going to gain a lot more people that kind of left this franchise for being way too arcadey, being way too simplistic, feeling on the bike, way too easy, no inertia, no skill gap to the rhythms. You're going to gain a lot of those kind of people back that you lost, right? And you can still have fun on this game even if you're super casual. That's the thing, man. Like, I love arcade games like this that feel like they got a little something for everybody, right? Got a little something for the super casuals. They got a little something for the kind of medium arcade motocross gamers. They got a little something for the hardcore motocross gamers. Whereas those first two Supercross games, it was basically just like, hey, we're here for the casuals, and anybody else, nah, get the fuck out of here. That's pretty much what all those other Milestone games are all about, man. They were just so casual. They were just so arcadey. So that's really the main reason why you've seen me come in here and be so positive about Supercross 3, just because it's just like they flipped a light switch on that whole entire aspect of their games. And you can still pop off the bike in this game. That's the crazy thing, you know. You can still pop off the bike, you can still slide out in the corners, but it's not janky as shit like MXGP Pro and some of the vibes and the feelings like MXGP 2019 had to it. You know, it's like they've kind of ironed out all those bullshit janky insta crash things that you would have with the MXGP Pro physics systems, and then they've integrated some of the really good MX versus ATV air filling and gravitational, actually feeling like you jump up in the air when you leave the ground, versus like the first two Supercross games. Those games just felt like when you were on the ground and in the air, it was the same exact feeling on the bike. There was no difference. Like, there was no like, ooh, I jumped up in the air. There was like, they had some really super basic arcade systems to those first two Supercross games that just completely killed the experience for me. But either way, man, not getting paid off by Milestone. It's not like that. I'm not getting paid off by any of these companies. Like I say, Milestone comes out with their next motocross game, and it's complete shit. I will come in here and shit on it like you ain't never seen, dog. If it's that bad, I'll come in here and I'll be just like I've always ever been with a Milestone game. If they go back to that bullshit, like super arcadey first Supercross game filling or whatever, if they try to go back to all that bullshit and the super restricted whip system, hit a button, play an animation whips and all that, if they even attempt to go back to any of that bullshit, I will come out here and tell you, bro. Don't think I won't. I won't hesitate for a second to come out here and be like, this is some straight up bullshit, dog. If I was really getting paid off by Milestone, you would not be hearing me coming in here saying that it's complete bullshit that they didn't allow you to have the energy drink helmets in there. The top block system's completely fucked. You know, just some of the other little negatives, like all the animation issues they had at the beginning when the game first came out. You wouldn't even have heard me say anything negative about it if I was really being paid off. You know what I'm saying? When you get paid off in these kind of, you get paid to give like a positive opinion about something, then your entire opinion about it is positive. Every little thing you say in the review is positive. Some of these other motocross gaming YouTubers. But, everything, when you go see a review on something and that person literally doesn't even peep anything negative about something at all, then you can start saying, maybe they're paid off. Then you can start saying that, but I didn't even do that. I mean, I said negative things about this game in my initial review about it. It just so happens to be the majority of the things I said were more on the positive side. So, people got to meme, people got to have their fun, so you got to let them do what they want to do. But, no, to some of you guys that really think I'm getting paid off, no, not at all, not even in the slightest, bro. Not even in the slightest. Like, I'm not getting anything for Milestone. I didn't even get the fucking game early, dog. You think, okay, yeah, get this. This is just another way to prove my entire point. So all them other YouTubers that are like have little Milestone deals and stuff, they got the game like weeks early, like 1 to 2 weeks early. Some of them even got it like a month early. Did you see me upload any fucking videos before the actual official normal release of this game? Did you see me upload any shit before then? No, you didn't. So, if Milestone is really paying me off, don't you think they would have sent me an early copy, dog? Don't you think they would have? Let's just think about that for a second, bruh. Let's just think about it. Like, damn, dude. I didn't get the fucking game early. I couldn't even make any videos on it until everybody else got the game, right? So I was already like a week or two behind on shit compared to all these other, motocross gaming YouTubers out here. But, oh, man, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Be back on the next one, boys.